I think many Pokemon fans would agree that a new evolution for a Pokemon is much better than a new Mega Evolution. You can still use your items and don't have to sacrifice the one Mega slot you get on a Pokemon that doesn't really take full advantage of it. The ROM hack Elite Redux has been adding a ton of new evolutions to old Pokemon that really need it. I've done a few videos on some of these new evolutions already, and in this video I will go over 4 brand new evolutions to old Pokemon. Tropius has always just been one of those Pokemon I forget exists. Not that I hate its design or anything, but it was always just so forgettable when it comes to battling. Elite Redux tries helping out Tropius by giving it a new typing, being Dragon, dropping Flying, and slightly increasing its attack and special defense. Its speed is still abysmal at just 51, but they've given it some abilities to help manage this. Unburden, one of my favorite abilities in the game, can double its speed when a held item is used. Berries are usually pretty good with this, but since it has Harvest in one of its innate abilities, you can easily lose the speed boost from Unburden. Instead, you can use things like gems to power up a move and get the speed boost, or use a Focus Sash and potentially do serious damage. With it having Aerialist and Giant Wings, its flying moves have their power greatly increased, almost like it has its flying type back, especially at low HP. The other option to boost up its speed is Air Blower. Air Blower sets up Tailwind for 3 turns on entry, not only helping Tropius, but helping your entire team as well. It's a shame it doesn't get Take Flight, which is a flying type version of U-Turn, but it does get Fluttering Leaf, a grass type version, which will help it come back in later to set up Tailwind again for you. Tropius is actually not a bad Pokemon now, and you could keep it if you wanted, but its new evolution is also pretty strong. Brontanana is the new evolution for Tropius. It keeps its new Dragon Grass typing, but has an interesting shift to its stats, now fully becoming a special attacker, with its special attack being raised to 123. Its defenses do take a bit of a hit, dropping by 10, but the increase to HP to 123 helps with this. Its speed was basically doubled, now sitting at 100, which it needed since it does lose some of the abilities like Air Blower. Instead, it was replaced by abilities like Grass Pelt, giving Brontanana a 50% boost to its defense when in grassy terrain. You won't even have to worry about wasting a turn setting that up yourself, because its innate ability Seed Sower actually activates grassy terrain whenever it's hit. Seed Sower used to also set up Leech Seed as well. You gotta love the nerfs in this game. If you don't want to be hit to activate your ability, you can always give it Dragon's Maw instead, giving it a 50% boost to its Dragon type moves instantly. Draco Meteor and Dragon Hammer are 2 of its best Dragon moves. However, if you're on a Sun team, you'll be activating one of its other innate abilities, and one of the best abilities in the entire game, Big Leaves. It's 5 abilities at once, and most of them only work in the Sun. Most importantly, Chlorophyll, raising its speed by 50%, meaning Brontanana can run Dragon Energy much more efficiently since its power is HP dependent. Not to mention Big Leaves also increases its attack by 50%, so it absolutely hits like a truck in the Sun. Ripen is a very useful choice ability as well, doubling the effects of any berry it consumes, giving it more health from citrus berries or even more resistance against ice with a Yachi berry. Although citrus berries seem to be bugged as it takes health away, but normally this is a good item. This can pair really well with Big Leaves' Harvest ability. Its final innate ability, Immunity, means you no longer have to worry about a poison weakness either. Brontanana is not only one of my favorite new designs in this game, but also one of my favorite new evolutions to use as well. Goldeen and Seaking are probably the most forgettable Gen 1 Pokemon ever. All I remember them for is Waterfall being their signature move in RBY. Seaking is just another fish, but it does have some utilities in this game. Seaking stats were bumped up to make it better as an attacker, going from 92 in the base games to 112 in attack, and going from 68 to 98 in speed. Still not amazing, but necessary for this landscape. It keeps some of its abilities like Swift Swim, letting it become a much faster and more dangerous threat in the rain. Being faster is great because Aqua Bash can be used to flinch opponents. Seaking is also immune to electric moves because of its Lightning Rod innate, which will also power it up if it's hit with one. Seaking's signature move Waterfall is even better now thanks to its amazing Field Explorer ability, increasing the power of the HM moves by 50%, making Dive a good option as well. Secret Power gets this boost too, so strong coverage opportunities there. Seaking is certainly better than before, but there's no reason to keep it over its impressive new evolution. Kaiosea is the new monster Seaking evolves into and has potential for crazy amounts of damage. First important thing to note is that it now gains the Flying type as well, giving it an immunity to ground and a bug resist, so it's not bad. Kaiosea's stats don't improve that much though, only increasing by about 45. Its attack is raised by 10, bringing it to 122, and its speed is raised by 10, bringing it to 108. The rest go into its HP and defenses for a tiny bulk improvement. Kyose's abilities are the main reason it doesn't need a lot of stat increases to be good. Multiscale is now a great choice ability it receives, allowing it to have the damage from moves at full HP. This allows for some great setup opportunities, whether that's a Rain Dance, Swords Dance, Agility, or even a Tailwind. Getting any of these off can make a massive difference. Since its speed is not the most amazing stat it has, Agility can be super important to make sure Kyose is a deadly sweeper. And make no mistake, Kyose is a very dangerous late game sweeper thanks to its innate ability, Supreme Overlord. Stolen right from King Gambit, Supreme Overlord will increase its attack by 10% for each fallen ally. If it's the last Pokemon left, it has a choice band for free, and with Agility, not much is getting in its way. If you're using horn-based moves in your assault, the other innate ability, Mighty Horn, will be giving them an additional 30% power increase, basically a free life orb. Moves like Mega Horn, Horn Drill, Hyper Drill, and Stab Drill Peck are great options. If you give up Multiscale for Hydrate, the normal moves like Hyper Drill and Horn Drill actually become Stab Water moves with an additional 10% power increase. So you can see how quickly things can ramp up in power. Shocking Jab gives it good coverage against other water types, and the last innate ability, Water Veil, protects it from being burned. Water Veil also sets up Aqua Ring, giving it passive recovery and can potentially get its multiscale back. Many consider Kyose to be one of the best new evolutions in 2.5, and with its late game power, I really can't disagree. Torkoal is a Pokemon that has always had niches throughout the game's history, and certainly has uses, especially in the doubles format. In fact, maybe it was a little too good since its stats were nerfed in Elite Redux. Everything else remains the same, but its special defense was lowered by 15 to 70. Still, it's a defensive monster with 140 in defense. Some of its bigger weaknesses are eliminated thanks to the Mountaineer ability, making it immune to rock-type moves and immune to stealth rocks. Torkoal still keeps its drought ability as an innate, so it can still set up the sun with ease. It's a fine Pokemon at its base, and with Eviolite now being an item it can run, it's much tankier, but its brand new evolution is much better to use later. Tortemple is the ultimate Pokemon for a Sun team. Tortemple is similar in many ways to Torkoal, especially in defense, with its special defense remaining at 70 and its defense being raised from 140 to 160. It's a much greater attacking threat now, with 100 and 110 in attack and special attack respectively. Tortemple's speed is still terrible at 20, but makes for a great Trick Room Pokemon. One of the choice abilities it gets makes it one of the most annoying Pokemon to go up against in the entire game. White Smoke was reworked to set up Smokescreen on entry for 3 turns, leading to plenty of opportunities for misses, making it much safer to use a move like Amnesia, or Yawn, or Iron Defense. Even a Shell Smash, although the speed probably still won't be high enough. Still, those 3 turns can feel like 30 if you miss, and Tortemple can hit you with some force. Even if you do manage to hit this thing, it's still a tank. Shell Armor not only protects it from getting crit, but also reduces all damage by 20%. Shell Trap is a perfect move to use for how bulky it can be. With it having one of the best new abilities in the game, Hot Coals, physical attackers are in a lot of trouble when facing Tortemple. Hot Coals sets up a hazard on the field that burns the next Pokemon coming in. It disappears right after this, but the damage may already be done if you burn the right Pokemon. If you want an even bulkier option, at least defensively, you can run Stamina on it instead. With each hit increasing its defense by 1 stage, Body Press becomes stronger and stronger so it can retaliate. The only thing really holding it back is the lack of recovery other than rest, because it still gets Drought to boost up its fire moves and weaken water moves, but it can also have Mountaineer to free it from its rock weakness. Tortemple is actually a lot of fun to use, so expect it to be nerfed by the next update. In all my years playing Pokemon, I never once used the Jynx. It's not a terrible ice type by any means, but I never thought of using it over any other option. While its changes in Elite Redux, at least statistically, are subtle, it still has roles it can play. The increase of speed from 95 to 115 is a really solid improvement though. Jynx was never really known for having great abilities, so getting Psychic Mind as a choice ability is an improvement. Giving its psychic moves more power the lower its HP gets. Refrigerate for an innate ability changes all of its normal type moves, like Swift with its +2 priority, into stab ice moves and increases their power by 10%. Still, these additions still leave Jynx a bit lacking the further you go into the game. That's why a new evolution was needed. Sopranice is the much deserved Jynx evolution with one of the best new shinies in the entire game. The stat changes are a bit weird, but they still work for it. Speed was dropped by 25, which definitely hurts, but its special defense was increased by 30, so it can live more hits. Special attack was also increased by 10, so it can threaten more on offense. It's not a huge improvement, but the power of its new abilities makes up for it, as it gets 2 exclusive abilities. The first is one of the choice abilities, being Beautiful Music, giving all sound-based moves a 50% chance to infatuate. Infatuation in this game reduces the damage output by 50%, which will make taking out Sopranites much more difficult. The other exclusive ability is an innate ability, being Resonance. This gives all sound-based moves a 30% chance to cause bleed. The bleed status effect is very useful as it takes away a Pokemon's ability to heal and removes the effect of any stat boosts they have. It can really destroy certain Pokemon. Alluring Voice, Sparkling Aria, and Requiem are all fantastic sound moves that can take advantage of this. But believe it or not, its other 2 innate abilities also are there to boost up its sound moves. Snow Song not only boosts them up to 20%, but will change any normal type sound move into a stab ice move. The most important being Boom Burst, of course, causing devastating damage to almost all the Pokemon in its path. Amplifier is the other innate, which adds an additional 30% increase to power of all sound moves and lets it hit both opponents in doubles. So yeah, it's also an insane partner in double battles, even having Psychic Surge, so it can be a terrain setter as well. If you let Sopranice get off a Quiver Dance, you can basically just sweep teams with Boom Burst. Like I said, I never used the Jynx before, but I wouldn't hesitate throwing one of these on my team. These are just 4 new evolutions in this update, and there are still plenty of new ones I haven't gone over yet. Which Pokemon do you think should get a new evolution next? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos. Shout out to Fido Gang, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.